Okay, rulers, settle down. Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get pre-orders of all the upcoming Force of Will sets, as well as releases of previous sets after they come out, as well as fowlibrary.com, a wonderful resource for deck lists, article discussions, and more. Check them out at fowlibrary.com, as well as these amazing patrons. Special thanks to guest lecturer member Vite Ramen. Thank you for your support. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. DMO73 here. Welcome to your favorite ever Force of Will vodcast, here to answer all of your questions from your homework from this past week of Force of Will. It is office hours. I am joined, as always, by the beautiful Paul Reisman and the handsome Mike Rance.
Oh, that's me. I'm handsome.
Hey-o!
Thank you.
Glad to have you here as we do a little bit of...
It was my hair blowing in the wind.
hair blowing in the wind. I think I have the longest hair here,
that.
so... the fan. Do you just want to say, as we do some kind of housekeeping here, if you like what we're doing, you want to consider supporting the channel, we go ahead and consider clicking that join button right down below, as Ryboss96 already did. Thank you so much for joining us here as a member of the faculty on Ruler School. We're so glad to have you be a part of it, and we appreciate the support. You can also go ahead and check out, if you haven't already, we're talking about Game of Gods tonight, and Odyssey Games has pre-orders for Game of Gods available right now. You can get the starter decks or pre-release kits or boxes pre-ordered. There is a link in the description to check that out. And again, go check out fowlibrary.com for all kinds of awesome articles and stuff there too. And if you haven't already, there's an hey, did you guys know that there's an online GP in just over a week?
No.
Yeah, It has 3 invites, a paid and 2 unpaids, plus $1,000 cash split among top 8. You can go sign up for that with Games and Geek down below. There's a link right to that. You get a bunch of really awesome promos just for signing up. It is through Discord, through the convenience of their webcam at home, and we will be streaming it, which will be super fun to be able to do. Paul's coming down to do some commentary with me, and we're going to have a good time checking out the last US event for the season, supposedly. But yeah, let's talk about Game of Gods. Am I quiet? I can turn myself up if you need me to. Let's turn myself up here. I'll turn my
more volume, Jeremy. Pump it up.
Okay, I'll pump it up.
Oh, hi, Josh.
Pump it up. Pick it up.
not my real dad.
Got it.
So we're talking about Game of Gods here. Specifically, we have a lot more to be able to talk about and get very speculative about, because we have some cards that were spoiled, as well as from Converging Wills, the Facebook page, some artwork that was spoiled. So we're gonna get speculative, and it's gonna be great. So first off, let's show off these 2 promos that we've been seeing and kind of talk about what they mean. First off, we have Kagia enters the Game of the Gods. First off, as a promo artwork, like, this is gorgeous.
Dang.
Little hype.
Like,
Kitties and bunnies.
Nice little kitties and bunnies. Also, Apollo, like, has a new paint job, looking pretty sweet. So I dig that.
That's true.
Little Apollo hanging out there, interdimensional vessel Apollo hanging out there. So it's 1 cost. We're gonna be throwing moons at people. 1 cost green, and it has choose 1, put a Wind Moon Edition token into the field, draw a card, or target entity you control gains barrier until end of turn, draw a card. Force Resonance Moon. You may destroy all moons you control. This card deals 500 damage multiplied by the number of moons destroyed this way to target player or J/Resonator. So, like, we're just gonna, like, rain fire. Like, just rain and shards of moons down on people.
Just chucking moons at you, man.
Let's just chuck moons at people. It's fine.
We're playing Gurlog. We're playing Gurlog on.
Yeah, just throw moons. It's fine. So first, there's a lot going on here, right? Even as a 1 cost, like, Moon Edition, like, that's kind of cool. It gives us a feel for probably what Kagia is going to be dealing with, obviously. The giving barrier is a little weird that it's not quick cast, but I also don't...
Which is why I think the Kagia might give things quick cast on one of her sides.
that might be interesting. That's an interesting. We're getting speculative, right? Everything's out. Like, feel free in the chat if you've got crazy ideas and speculations that you want to throw in. That this is where it's fun. We can kind of commentate on it and see what we think.
Also, let's talk about this in Wander. How there's like a win condition based on the number of moons you have, and you have all like the DBV moon production from red. So you're just gonna play red, white, green, good stuff. Smack your opponent with a bajillion moons.
Nyarlathotep, just like generate 1,000,000 moons and then throw them all at your opponent. Who needs to banish 11 moons to have a 40/40 Gnarly? I'm gonna just generate 11 moons and then kill you.
You are dead. GG.
Jeez.
And then we have this Force Resonance moon. We don't know anything about this. Oh,
yeah.
Paul has a
You ready
theory.
for it?
Paul has a theory.
When a moon enters your field under your control, roll a 6-sided die.
If you get a 6, do the effect.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's pretty speculative.
Boom.
I don't.
That's very speculative.
If a die is rolled, resonance, get moon.
When
So,
a
like-
die enters your field.
So I think it's like we can try to get Parsi through it by saying like resonance is in the past has been like when something enters the field, so like when a magic stone enters the field. Force resonance specifically tied to moon makes me think like, is there a way of like, does it care about maybe the number of moons that you control to suddenly be able to gain this effect? Right? There's a lot. I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be. This is in general, this is a cool card, right? And this is very clearly a Kagia card, which I'm always for.
Kagia.
It gives us, but even like this feels like it's, because it's a super rare, this feels like it's going to be pretty tied to what Kagia is trying to do as a deck. And so even before spoilers, like back with this is the same kind of thing that we dealt with like the Belial teasers, right? Like the rulers where we didn't get the rulers tech, like we got the rulers text and none of their abilities. This is a similar kind of thing where like we're being shown a hint of what those decks are being like going to be without giving us everything, and it has me in that like very curious mindset, and I'm really about it. And also, again, this artwork is like 10 out of 10. It's absolutely gorgeous.
So this is a win con, right? Like theoretically, this could be a win con, especially against Belial.
Yeah.
Destroy all moons you control. So theoretically, you could just curve out really early on your moons and threaten lethal on Belial.
You just got to have a way to stop those God's Arts.
Yeah, which, green and white play really well together. So
they do. You
can cancel that God's Art with the spear.
It's true.
So I don't know.
Chuck a moon at him.
This seems like a good card to me.
Yeah, you only need 4 moons
now we have
to kill Belial.
Green.
You only need 4 moons with this card to kill Belial. Just saying. 3393 Matthew. Forced Resonance is probably either non-magic stone resonance that checks for a race or trait rather than a stone type. Yeah, that would be like the thing to kind of think about, right? Based on previous knowledge of what we've seen when something entered the field. We have also had this kind of idea in the past of it didn't really have a keyword attached to it, but this wouldn't be the first time that FOW has kind of like taken something they've experimented with and attached a keyword to it later. With like, if you control X number of something, this card gains, right? That happened in DBV, and we kind of talked about that before. So like, there's a world where I'm like, is that what we're talking about? Especially since the ability here specifically is related to destroy all of them. So it's like you build it up, you get resonance, you burn it all. Maybe, but again, we getting speculative. That's the whole point. No idea. Then we also have this other card that was spoiled, which we have Odin enters the Game of the Gods, which, okay, here's hot take. Hear me out. I am going to guess the name of 2 cards in the set right now that we haven't already seen. Are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Okay, here you go. I'm going to just shot in the dark. I feel really confident in it. There's going to be a card in this set called Nyarlathotep enters the Game of the Gods. And I think there's going to be a card in this set called Loki enters the Game of the Gods.
No, I think
I feel it. I feel like it's going to be there.
Feels too generic.
Too generic?
Oh,
man. Okay.
There's no way they do that.
Let's put money on it.
Loki
money
looks
on
at
it.
the Game of Gods with a smile on her face.
And then
And then.
And their face. Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about Odin. So let's talk about Odin here. So 1 cost quick cast. Choose one. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put one of them into your hand, one of them into your graveyard, and remove one of them from the game. And the other mode is put X +1/+1 counters on target J/Resonator you control, where X is the highest total cost among entities you control. And then Force Resonance Faith. Destroy up to
when
1.
Faith enters your field, roll 6.
Yeah.
Continue.
Destroy up to up to 1 target non-magic stone entity with total cost X or less, where X is the highest total cost among entities you control. So clearly Odin is playing into +X counters, or +1/+1 counters, or something of this nature, and counting, like cost counting, which has arguably been a thing in White before. Looking at like combined cost or will symbol cost or stuff like that. So
wait, basic math?
Yeah,
Force of will?
basic math. Like
how is Force Play supposed to do that?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
So real talk, we've never seen a card in White that has this kind of selection attached to it, really.
Not for this cheap.
Like, yeah, like this is kind of insane.
Yeah,
like we got like the best White card of all time is Dark Alice Rabbit Princess, because it gives you like selective grave control and hand manipulation, and this is just that, minus the Dark Alice and minus the copying it, but hitting the top 3 cards, which is
but you only get to keep
nice.
It's weird because you like only get to keep 1, and only one of them's going to grave. But looking at 3 cards is a lot for 1 at quick cast. Right, and so that's kind of crazy. Yo-Yo, does total cost mean split cards whole cost if it's a resonator? It'll just look at the resonator side.
Yep.
So like if it's a resonator on field,
removed area,
Yep. Great question.
Yeah, right, boss. It is definitely Oborozuki.
Oh yeah, Oborozuki is just like done, piece of cake. This becomes
here's 4 promos of Oborozuki. 4 more promos. Let's go.
More promos for
and then she continues to not be good, but we're not going to talk about that part.
It's okay.
Anyway,
I mean, she's fun casually.
She's great casually.
So give me some support for her casually too.
Bring it to your Wanderer locals. Put a Sylvia on board. Give it some counters and go face.
Yeah, GG. Absolutely. So yeah, this is pretty neat. Artwork again. I kind of wish that he was like a little. Is it weird that I kind of wish he was just like a little closer to frame?
He's very far away. I feel like Sleipnir is definitely more of the star of this picture.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's a very cool card art. Like, it's very cool. But like, we could have done a little bit better compositing to like zoom it in just a smidge.
Also, real talk, Loki was one who gave birth to Sleipnir, so I don't know. I don't know why Odin's getting, the custody right now. It's just a weird family drama right there. We're not gonna talk about it that much.
It is very weird.
Ask a Nordic pagan.
Yeah. So, I mean,
not even Nordic.
A few things that we've deciphered is that we have an ability that we have maybe some thoughts on what it is. We have an idea of what these 2 rulers are going to possibly be trying to do as their function, and we've seen some awesome artwork, which means that once again we're probably in for another wonderful set of sick artwork, which is dope. Speaking of artwork, this is kind of where we get to be a little bit more speculative, and this is coming from the Converging Wills Facebook page. If you haven't checked them out, this is legit. All of this is legit. I know the people who I have talked behind the scenes with, the people who are doing Converging Wills, the artwork.
You're legit though, Jeremy.
That's a fair point. I only get product from the company early and exclusive spoilers. So like, if that doesn't make me legit, I don't know what is. But we have some cool artwork to show off. I'm going to show off this piece first. This is the Brune. It very much appears to be a Brunhild. Which is pretty cool. So a returning character. This is something that we've actually kind of talked about in the
characters in my Force of Will.
Well, this is actually something we've kind of talked about before. Of the fact that the 10 rulers, from New Valhalla, only some of them.
Jeremy.
Sorry, it's because I'm talking a lot. So like I'm in the dark and I'm talking a lot, so my body's like, ah yes, breathe more, please. Oh, okay. We talked about this before in the podcast of there were some rulers in this set in the DBV or the New Valhalla era that like we got to see them as resonators in DBV, and yet other resonate rulers we just didn't. So the fact that we're seeing this artwork of Brunhild just makes me go, okay, cool. It's great that we're gonna get Brunhild back. That'll be really cool. I know we're talking about these 4 rulers right now. Please give me a Lich resonator. That's not like his like humanoid self. Like, give me an undead Lich resonator, please. Please give me a Hanzo resonator. Please give me a Fushi resonator. Like, come on.
Fushi resonator.
Let's go, please. And it gives me hope. It gives me hope. I wonder if the faith mechanic is gonna come back.
Please. Oh my god.
But if your ruler is dead, these cards gain additional things. And then like the force resonance of
really,
like
would work really sickly with not sickly. Would work really well with Dante Virgilius.
yeah.
Faith on that.
Yeah, just bring faith back into the Dante Virgilius deck. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. They're all ice cream cones that are different colors for each stone. What?
Yeah, magic cone of wind, magic cone of light.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just get like all of the characters that were in the Vingolf 3 stones to be eating the ice cream cones.
And
Just
every card in the game just has ice cream like a staple to their nose.
I'll take 40. Thank you.
I would
40 of each.
The ice cream stones. The ice cream stones. There it is.
Gain 200 life every time you produce a well.
There you go.
Sounds good to me.
Seems
Gain
great.
200 life every time you ingest dairy.
We have also seen, speaking of characters, we have seen this. We haven't seen the colorized version, but we've seen Isis. New artwork for Isis, which looks pretty cool.
Her hair is as
We
cool
have
as
2
Brunhilde's.
halves for Scarlet.
Yeah,
Right.
we did see an
there's the
upper
top and the
half and the
bottom.
bottom. I only grabbed the top half. The bottom half has the friendly wolf boy. But I'll show the colorized top half. So that's like, that's
an
very
up, like,
clearly
across-
Scarlet, which is
Kenshin?
a
Are you the
little
wolf?
okay. So it's a little weird that we have Nyarlathotep and Scarlet, because they're the same, but also Scarlet isn't, because she's like the time spinning corrupted version of Nyarli. So like, gonna see Imul coming back? I don't know what this means.
Man,
Let's get speculative.
I mean, to be fair,
Speaker of Eternal Night.
we did technically see
Stephen.
No, I mean,
It's happening.
we definitely did see Imul in the card art for the Lumbia Marvel from
Yeah,
ROL
yeah.
on the dark.
I mean,
part of it.
like,
So
Imul
maybe
coming
they still
back.
exist somehow?
I don't know. Time doesn't exist in Force of Will, dude.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
IDK, please explain.
Every character that's died has come back in some way, shape, or form.
Pretty much.
When new characters,
Except
anyway.
Oh no, even Grim got to come back because of Rebirth of Legend. Because Grim did definitely die.
100%.
100% murdered.
Nobody dies forever in this game.
And then Yo-Yo Y, I will point this was posted today, and it's just the bottom half, but like, that's a cat claw, that's some ninja
Beans?
pants, that's a giant shuriken.
Beans?
It certainly
Hanzo.
certainly seems like our boy Hanzo might be getting that resonator, especially since Kagia is their high god. So like, Yokai, what does this mean? Like, oh, I guess I
And
should
so
say
Brief
this.
Prince, let's go.
So let's talk about this, right? We saw the Brunhild artwork. for Odin,
Stupid Hanzo
which
mans.
means that we're probably going to see Valkyries, right? If we're talking speculation, we're probably going to see a Valkyrie army coming along with Odin, which I'm fine with. Valkyries have always been a cool archetype. And then Nyarlathotep Isis, right, for Gnarly, which probably means that we're going to see more Egyptian stuff, which is also very cool, like deserty sand creatures and stuff like that. That was a really cool, like, that was cool artwork, a cool space that was explored. And then Scarlet's
sand resonators to come off of my searcher.
Scarlet being back is a little bit interesting. Like, it makes me think like
in my Valhalla,
dinosaurs or
more
wolves
or Cthulhu's,
or back to more Cthulhu-y stuff. Which, I mean, with Nyarlathotep that would make more sense, but like, I'm for it.
Sand
like
Cthulhu's.
Gnarly's Cthulhu's versus Wolfgang's Cthulhu's, because they very much channeled very different elements of the Cthulhu mythos.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool. And then obviously here we have Hanzo, right? Which probably means ninja cats. And yokai, ninja cats and yokai probably coming back.
Shinigami.
Ooh.
Oh,
Shikigami.
Also
could be coming back. Tau Masters.
Yeah.
That little subset.
Hanzo did have a lot of different archetypes introduced into like his
really
world.
Hope that they're like,
what if Japan but cats?
What if Naruto but cats? So
it's like
real talk.
Better Japan.
Real talk. I'm very excited.
Chakra.
I'm really excited for somebody to make a deck that's like, I really hope there's like 4, like I'll play 4 of, and then you just splash them into another deck and call it Meow Mix.
I get what I missed with the thing that your like internet started hating you when you started to talk. Try that again.
Sick. I love when that happens. So I'm thinking, if there's like 3 to 4 good cat resonators,
okay,
you splash that in with another archetype and call it Meow Mix.
I'm still look. You have this crazy deck idea. I'm still waiting on the deck that's gonna apparently make Red Dragon work, and I haven't been sent a deck list yet. So you come back to me after you do that.
Deck, Jeremy. It's called any deck bud. Come on.
Okay, I'm still waiting on a deck list. So you give me that deck list.
It's called Get Misty Dragon Spirit and hope to God they don't have a final battle or anything else that next to the board.
Okay, perfect. Great.
And then they will.
And then we do have one other piece of artwork. We get to see a second part piece of Kagia artwork here. And
I wonder if Kagia's gonna be in the set.
Well, we already know she's a ruler. And for lack of speculation's sake, according to Converging Wills, this is supposedly her J ruler side, like her backside of her card. And like, I wish we could see more of the colors, but dang, even just as the artwork, it's so sick. Like, that just looks good.
It does.
We got Tama up there on the shoulder. We got bunnies everywhere. You got little foxes and all that jazz. Like, just looks good.
I'm glad we're finally getting a proper Kaguya ruler for the first time in years.
K6. This is K6.
This is K6.
Seer of the Blue Moon. Seer of the Blue Moon. Moon Priestess of Stellar Wars. Friends from Another Dimension. Crying Kagia. Tears of the Moon. Time Spinning Witch's third side is technically Kagia. And now K6.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but buddy, I'll remind you that we are probably going to get an Alice ruler.
Or Zeus.
Probably not Zeus. Probably Alice.
Like Zeusified Alice would be dope as shit.
Look, it might be my camera
wielding Alice.
It might be my camera. We're trying something new with the camera, and Discord is a little bit weird sometimes. So it might be that for audio desyncing, it might be that my voice isn't lining up because of Discord being weird. Thank you for pointing that out for us, though. I will say this, because he's still done artwork. He's still doing Force of Will artwork. Wednesday. And there's going to be a new Alice ruler. if it is a new Alice ruler, and it's not done by Wednesday, I riot.
Yeah, honestly, that would be the one thing that would make Jeremy stop shilling for Force Will and immediately become the Alex Blandon.
I riot.
There's an Alice that isn't by Wednesday.
There's an Alice ruler that wasn't drawn by Wednesday. You ruined my game.
The game is over now. Force Will dead.
Rage quits, gives the channel to Mike.
Doesn't even deletes it. Deletes the whole channel. It's gone.
Honestly, deleting the channel is so much better than giving it to me.
Yeah, just delete it. No, that won't happen. Even if it's not done by Wednesday. But I do know Wednesday. I do know that how connected he is to the character of Alice, and so I highly doubt if he's still doing artwork for FOW, which he's done artwork as recently as the Red Witch. I don't think he did anything in the 7th. I don't think he did anything in the 7th, but he has done stuff in Saga Cluster, so he has still been in contact with the company. I can't imagine that they weren't having him do an Alice ruler if it was going to be an Alice ruler. But like, if it is an Alice ruler, y'all know what I'm playing when that set comes out.
Oh yeah,
hands down. 5-sided stop ball.
Let's do it.
So. Yeah, I mean, like this. I'm mixed about. I'm mixed in terms of what I'm excited about with this set. I'm mixed in the like. I'm very curious about mechanically what we're gonna be talking about, and like how it's gonna be unique, especially since we've gotten this tease of like what what is force resonance and kind of what these two rulers are trying to do. And what are orders? We still don't know anything about what orders are.
My order is a large number 9.
Thank you.
Small number 6.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Diet Coke. I'm on a diet.
Chicken tenders.
Okay, we're out of chicken tenders.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
But I'm also like, there's a part of me that even isn't really.
My machine's broken. I'm sorry.
There's a part of me.
That's understandable. Have a nice day.
Stop. I'm trying to make a sentence. Stop. There's a part of me that doesn't even really care what the mechanics are because I'm so excited to have these characters coming back, and like exploring them in the new Valhalla like area, and like what that means. I'm
still disappointed they didn't call this Meanwhile Cluster.
Meanwhile.
In the halls of Valhalla.
Well, because that's the other thing too is so this is coming from a perspective of having helped grammarize and like improve readability on lore, which is all the way up through the end of New Valhalla. It's written up. We've done all the way up through Saga 3. Like, up to Saga 3 is what we worked on. I know for a fact that before she came to New Valhalla, Nyarlathotep went to, like, a dimension, a world that had, like, a Colosseum and, like, games, like the Ascendant games to, like, be able to appease the gods or be able to obtain the power of gods and stuff. Yeah, so that kind of thing. So, and I also know the story of what's going on in New Valhalla and, like, why Saga Cluster is happening because of what's going on in New Valhalla. So I'm actually wondering if we're even actually going to be in actual New Valhalla for this cluster. This idea of, like, entering the game of, like, what is the game of the gods? Where does the game of the gods take place? That has me getting like, who? Maybe we're not actually in New Valhalla. But we're like, we went to a place like a new Valhalla. We had Valhalla, we had New Valhalla, we have new Valhalla. Tinier and tinier worlds. Just nesting
Small
doll.
Valhalla.
Just matryoshkas of Valhallas. I did enjoy your Toby. I did enjoy your comment that Kagia's third side is just tier 0 Mikage. I did appreciate that. I didn't see that.
I mean, listen, man, if you wanted to make Kagia not broken, you just have her flip into Mikage.
There you go. Frontside Kagia, backside Mikage. There you go. Done.
Oops.
Misprinted rulers again. Nice.
We did it again. Crap.
I love flipping my hair into Scarlet.
Yeah, hey,
It's really nice.
legitimately the only
Dagger ruler.
legitimately in the format that people played around with, that misprint was the best ruler. Because you didn't have to have because front side's a Herazade, and you could get the backside of Scarlet without having to worry about having your hand be nothing. That was a fun format. That was a goofy format. People try to play around with it. We should do that again sometime. Like, do it in like current Wanderer, but you have to use one of those 5 rulers.
Or your ruler side is the same, but your J ruler is randomized.
Roll a 6-sided die.
No, just have something like on Untap where it's like, instead of having a regular ruler, you just pick a ruler that doesn't have its backside mentioned, and you just roll with it. I don't know how it would work, but I feel like that'd be the worst.
You'd have to create what you would do.
Roll a 6-sided
so this is interesting. What we'll do is we'll generate a list of like 20 rulers, right? Random backside rulers, and that'll be the community ruler list. And so whenever you go to perform judgment of your ruler, you just have to roll a d20 on Untap, and in that moment, figure out which ruler you're flipping into.
That's pretty good. Either that, or you just.
Or at the beginning of the game, or like at the beginning of the game, you roll your d20 to find out what your J ruler would be.
No,
that
I
game.
like the idea of when you judgment, because if you get something with imperishable, you flip back and try again.
Take 2.
With Saga 3
with Saga 3 tag rulers.
Your tag rule is randomized
on the back. Just roll 2 random rulers, so like anyone can tag with anyone, and you just have to roll 2 randoms to get tagged.
Gets 2 zeros.
gets like 0, 1, and new 0, and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Turn one random ruler. Hey,
get 2 Brads.
Get 2 Brads.
Tag ruler doesn't matter. He's Brad.
My tag is Brad. Just Brad and a Brad. Just keep
going.
To
get us back on the kind of not real topic that we have for tonight.
We don't have a real topic, Jeremy. This is the new topic.
Yeah, this is fine. I do want to talk about what from seeing this artwork, from seeing these 2 cards. For you guys, what are your thoughts as we like wait for more stuff, and what are like your what are you kind of looking forward to, or like really waiting for?
I really like how the cards have like, artwork.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than cards that don't have artwork. It's just really something that's kind of sick.
Great,
just personally to me.
Great, it's good, super good, super good.
Well, obviously, there's no blue ruler yet, and
good. They won't be when the set comes out either. If we've learned anything from previous Force Will sets.
Just 4 black rulers. Just erase the other 2.
We did just have the 7th, so fucking yeah.
For real though, like machines. I'm looking forward to machines coming back.
Oh yeah, Deus Ex Machina as a ruler, most likely.
I love Deus Ex. It's my favorite game.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Kind of like just regular Machina.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but bigger.
Let's just cross universes. Let's do it. Let's get the Machinas. Machina-ing.
This Kagia is just cherry. Are you saying cherry or sherry? Like that she's
cherry.
just sherry?
She's just cherry.
Oh, she's yeah.
You mean the Animal Crossing dog, Cherry?
That was removing blue from the game. What?
It wouldn't do anything. Let's be real.
It's not true.
I mean, to be honest, he is correct that you're probably looking at a green, like Kagia is probably a green blue something, green blue ruler, or white green. Maybe white green is another. I mean, she's been
color combination.
She's been blue. So Kagia has been blue more than she hasn't. So she's been K1 was blue, K2 was blue, K3 was not, K4 was blue, K5 was blue.
K5 was blue.
So 4 of her 5 iterations up to this point have been blue. So it is a very high likelihood that if she is a dual color ruler, she will be blue X. So
Excuse me. Kagia is green. There are no dual color rulers. Calling it now.
wow.
She is not blue.
Really hard going away from his thought of tricolor rulers not 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna call
0 color rulers. All rulers are void. Let's go. They're all Machina now.
Spicy.
They're all 5 color rulers. It's pink color. And we're actually
They're all
gonna reprint.
Let's go.
5 color ruler and reprint on Aractia's Memoria.
Magnate, the only one who can have fun now.
Calling it now. They're not bringing
No,
back
they're all
dual
moon
stones.
rulers.
They're all moon
They're
rulers.
all moon rulers. Except for one time ruler. That's Loki.
Moon,
ice cream rulers.
time. Wow, you
Also
guys are
point,
you guys are
uh,
The
on.
sweetest set.
No, they're all X rulers. You have to pay X to get their attribute.
There you go.
I don't know how that
All
works.
dice rulers. Whenever a dice
Echo.
comes in the field, you get a ruler.
They're probably going to be dual color, and there's probably going to have some kind of shock rock. The return of
Wait.
shock rocks. I could be down for the return of shock rocks.
Wait, yo, Void Ruler at the start of the game. Roll a 6-sided die. If you get a 1, it's light. 2, it's fire. 3, it's water. 4, it's wind. 5, it's darkness. 6, all 5 colors. And that happens before you get your Energized coin.
Okay, so Toby, if I am wrong, I will happily eat crow because that means Kagia is my blue ruler, and Kagia is amazing. So
Moon format.
I'm fine with that.
Rybos coming in.
Time for that. Time. Let's do it. Every ruler is a time ruler.
We're time friends.
We're time friends.
The time break.
Yeah.
Time friends fighting in the time war.
We apologize for the inconvenience, but we have run out of blue ink. What a good comment, yo. What a good note. What that's it. That's the comment. That wins. That wins the whole thing. There wasn't a contest, but that wins the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If there was a contest, Yo-Yo Y would
Yo-Yo Y would have won it with that one right there. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm a little bit saddened that we haven't seen the kind of teaser images. I
did
have
like the teaser images.
the
from
teaser
last
images
set.
were very cool. We do have this artwork, which is like with the pre-release we're getting like
Ooh.
something.
We got Windows.
Whee,
There it
we
is.
got Windows.
Window to New Valhalla.
Ooh.
So
Real
yeah,
question is, where's my website?
what do you mean your website?
Where's my Return to New Valhalla website?
Oh, like the one that they did way back then.
When we were just going to New Valhalla. Yeah.
Go for
Yeah.
the
Where's my
Valhalla.
website?
Yeah. Moving on. So let's shift gears just a little bit with a little bit of time left. So we've got a week, just over 2 weeks, or sorry, just under 2 weeks before the next GP.
When's the next GP? I thought it was later than that.
It's 23rd, weekend of the 23rd.
Damn.
So, thoughts about what we might see getting played? Curious to hear.
I have a.
Don't feel like.
I have a,
Go ahead.
I have a bold claim right now.
Okay.
We're going to see tag rulers.
Oh, I mean, duh. Do you think we're gonna see? Do you think we're gonna see the same setup of tags, like people trying to do the same thing? Do you think we're gonna see some more experimentation?
I think we're going to see more Feeth combination decks than we did last time around because like the set's no longer just fresh out of the gates. People are going to have time to like actually try and learn Feeth Mooj decks that aren't just the ones that were played before the tournament happened. So I feel like we're going to get something pretty interesting there. I also, after playtesting it, I'm convinced that Dante Carlina is insane.
It's certainly very good. It's certainly very good.
That deck is very, very powerful. Like I did not realize the damage output that deck creates.
I'm
like you said, it's literally just Vlad.
Yeah, it's just Vlad. I'm just playing Vlad. Just a much faster
Vlad
Vlad.
with ramp.
So Turbo Vlad, which was a deck before and was effective. Yeah, I think it'll be. I think I've had conversations with people, and like as I've had the slight taste of competitive from the Wanderer thing, I've been like actively maybe engaging in more competitive discussion. Not that I'm ever going to compete again, but like something has been unleashed. Ryan Miles sent me the comments of.
Gonna make a big.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna make a bolder claim. There will be exactly one. Count it one. Mujdart my last deck in the top 8.
I actually don't hate that idea. I honestly don't. I was thinking about this too. One of the things that we noticed from Belial decks was that instant speed interaction with their God's Arts and forcing them to burn it before they have the chances to get into Erythropia is actually something that deck can struggle with for sure. And we have literally never seen a faster burn deck than Mujdart Mylist that can just pour on the damage in response to things. I legitimately have had the same thought of like, if Belial is super prevalent, the return of Mylist Mujdart burn is not something to dissuade. Like, that is absolutely a thing. For sure. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And then...
Well, I know. I'm taking the locals this weekend.
Mylist Mujdart, bro. Show it up.
Mylist Mujdart. Let's go.
The Kyron Lucas special.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things that I've seen is if you have ways to force Belial to God's Art when they don't want to, and then in response to their God's Art, burn them anyway, you're in the early game, you're doing a really good job. Because most of them are typically only playing like 2 Erythropia. Like 2 or maybe 3. But like most people have gone down to 2.
2 out of 10 chance to hit it. Just...
Especially after this past GP, I think that people have gone down in the number of Erythropias because having only black stones was proved on stream proved detrimental. Like not having the color flexibility proved detrimental. And so I think Erythropia stones have gone down for Belial decks. Mylist 0. That's interesting. So you have a barrier Mylist and just burst them for damage. Interesting. I do think Mike's internet is trying to catch up. I did say, like, Ryan Miles reached out to me the other day and he was like, Jeremy Franklin, fresh off his tie for first place at a Wanderer, has finally decided to come out of retirement to prove he still has it. What deck does he play at the event? I was like, I don't think you're going to like my answer, but this is what I would probably be goofing. This is what I'm currently goofing around with. I think that I had this conversation with a couple of people for this GP, and I think that this format is a lot more complex than we have even given it credit for, even now post GP. Because I think that we talked about this before. We've now seen how rulers function and how they perform at a competitive level. Like, we've seen it. So we have a lot easier time painting targets on things. And I think that we have had competitive players who are trying to paint targets. Like, they're trying to hit targets. So it's going to be a very big meta call. For instance, I'm going to spew out some hot takes right now. I think that against Carlina decks, I think that there are some singleton decks that really love playing against certain tag ruler combinations and have a really good strong matchup against it. For instance, if you are a Carlina player and you sit down across it from an Olivia, like an Olivia that's playing not aggressive Olivia, but like a control Olivia, you're in for a bad time. Like, as the Carlina player, like, you're in for a bad time. Fiola is a problem, and God's Art Dolly is a problem. So like
2 blue cards, interesting.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I think that if you're trying to play, there are other rulers. If you're playing Feith Mooj, that deck traditionally has a harder time against Wolfgang 2, and Wolfgang 2 only got better. But like, I think also Wolfgang, I think people are playing Wolfgang too pigeonholed. In a way, like, I think people need to. As you prep for this event, I think that the players that are going to have the most success are the players who feel very comfortable abandoning the idea of what a deck should look like, and instead are building what you think the deck should look like, and instead are building the deck that works best. Because even if that means that your counts of things are wonky or you're playing some very weird tech. I think the things trying to. It's a format that I think lends itself to accepting a loss of consistency in exchange for having the ability to throw your opponent off their rhythm. Can be like that. I think is pretty good. Paul, you have your thinking face on. I want to hear we're going to get into that brain.
Well, I was just thinking about all the decks that we saw get into the top 8, and so I'm thinking back to our last tournament report. We had Carlina Belial win the event. We had Dante Belial get second place and hold 2 spots. We had Belial Astema, very aggressive, very interesting play style deck that I don't think we've fully tapped into quite yet.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what there were like 6 uniques that made it into the top.
We had a couple different takes.
We had one
Turbo Stand, Carlina Dante.
Yeah.
Was very different from the Dante Carlina that won. So Ryan's Carlina Dante was very different than the Carlina Dante that won.
So yeah, Turbo Stand, we had a Feasting Mouge Dart that was not playing the Life Loot combo.
Yeah.
And it sided into Almerius. And then we had a Violet nearly make it in.
Bubbled.
And a Wolfgang that had potential, but just never really shined through.
Yeah.
But was definitely capable. So I mean that in and of itself, that's 10 unique decks. 9 technically, I guess.
Yeah.
9 unique decks that we have potential with. And then we just named like several more. I mean, that just proves to me that the format is still wide open.
Oh yeah.
We might have certain targets painted on certain decks, and we might understand what the decks can do, but that doesn't mean that the format is solved by any means.
Right.
And this will be the last GP, right? So I imagine this format going even into dual cluster is not going to be totally solved yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because we only have 2 events, right?
I think it's.
that's not enough time.
Go ahead, Mike.
Here's the hottest take in the entire world. There's only one deck I think has a perfect matchup against Belial decks.
Mikage.
It's Dark Alice.
Because of its super huge life loss loop. Yeah. Yeah, the life loss pressure.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this before. That deck can generate in one turn, that deck can generate half of what it needs to kill a Belial deck. On turn 1, if it's on the coin. If it's on the coin, it can literally generate half of what it needs on turn 1.
And also, if you really want to if you want to attack hard enough, as hard as you possibly can, you play 4 copies of the Spear in Violet, so that your only bad matchup is Belial, which you just cancel the God's Art.
That she just uses the other God's Art.
And then you just play the other Spear that you have in hand. Come on, Jeremy, you deep draw your deck.
You don't have enough will to be able to cast these cards if you're popping off this early.
Yeah, you do. Eternal Wind exists. Come
Stop.
on, man.
Stop. Look at me. Stop.
Okay.
I mean, you probably play Spear at least in the sideboard. I think
in the sideboard. I don't think you main 4, because I also think that means your stone base is about to get really weird.
Fine. Violet doesn't need mana. Look at me. When was the last time you've seen a Violet player use mana?
Did you watch Kyron? I mean, you didn't. We didn't put him on stream, but Kyron was getting a lot of stones in his matches.
Yeah, but
he built.
When do you need mana of a specific color? When you could just play the one that's white and produces any color when your opponent has 2 rulers. So in a non
that stone is
matchup,
that stone is currently, in my opinion, that stone is at best a 1-of in a main deck with a heavy white main board. The rest of those cards go into this. The rest of the copies of that stone go sideboard.
Y'all playing it wrong.
Okay.
That stone goes into the Alice Zeus deck when it comes out.
Heyo.
That's all you do.
There you go. There you go. It'll be interesting to see. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to, with it being a webcam event, we tend to get still a lot of variety as well. And we have a lot more high-speed selectivism in terms of what we're going to be trying to grab, because it's a lot easier for us to grab information without having to speculate or think about it, because we can be a lot more in communication with the staff, and because We typically don't run anything in between matches outside of a little bit of discussion, so we can be a lot more intensive and intentional about what we grab. I certainly think we are going to see probably some similarity from what we saw last GP, but also fully expect to see a lot of different stuff too, which is awesome. Like, that's great to me. I'm very excited to see it. I'm very excited to put it on. Yes, Starlight Masquerade, we will be streaming it. Yep. As a reminder, if you're not already, I imagine that most of you are, during GPs, the stream itself is always available, but the chat for GPs is locked to members only. So if you want to be able to engage with us in the chat, you got to be a member, which is a good incentive. So to try to support the channel that way, to be able to access that during GP streams. So we are very excited. That's not what it is. It's just
do it anyway.
We appreciate the support. That one of the, I mean, I will say this, like, the membership thing, if you want to talk about like real application of what the memberships has done, the memberships is what allowed me to fly Paul out to Minnesota with me and put on the show as a whole crew. Like, that was only possible because of memberships. Like, you guys made that happen. Being able to help us bring a crew to the event and make sure everyone was well compensated and covered to be able to come out. So that's awesome. That's some of the things that we've been able to do with it. And we appreciate it. So it's also helping to create our like stockpile of new starter decks for new players that we're going to be using. That's a cool project we're investing in that wouldn't be possible without you guys. So that I think is going to close us out for this week. Thank you all so much for being here.
First question for the
Go.
chat.
Yes.
So I want you guys to know, using the half of the prize money that Jeremy got from the Wanderer event, what should he get me because I helped build his deck? I'll leave it up to you guys to determine that.
It's already been spent, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
I gave you.
He should Venmo you a gift card for a local taco place that serves chorizo tacos. And does it with a really nice salsa verde. That I mean, whatever the chat's gonna say, are they really gonna get over tacos? Like, that's the bar, man. Like, chorizo salsa
really
verde tacos, man.
It's not gonna beat Mamie. Yeah.
Cotija cheese.
Although, to be fair, the place I don't go there for the tacos. I go to Mamie for the chimichangas. Those things are lit.
Okay, so before these two go off on a tangent about food, we're gonna go ahead and close it out for tonight.
Let's talk more about chimichangas.
I do want to say,
sits there and sits quietly while we talk. This is our podcast now. This is Paul and Mike Rants, and here's Jeremy over here
and muted. Perfect. So now we can't hear Mike anymore as he talks about all
this stuff. Every ruler is.
Paul goes to mute as well. So I'm gonna do this intro because they can't hear either of you anymore. This is great. This is the control that I have. I'm finally stepping up and wielding my power. I do want to say thank you all so much for joining us. And again, check out those links in the description to be part of the next GP, online GP, as well as get your pre-orders in for the new set, thanks to Odyssey Games. And as always, this has been myself, Jeremy Franklin, DMO73, and I've been joined by Paul and Mike Rants saying class dismissed. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.